So another resource that I find to be really helpful is available on GitHub, and I think this is something that you and Herb Sutter and maybe others have been working on, about trying to give guidance to developers who want to use the language. Is that what the core guidelines is all about?
That's what it's all about. It fits in several places. When I came to work at Morgan Stanley, one of my things that I'm doing is to help people modernize their code base. And so I also saw people being enthusiastic about C++ 14 and 11. And I decided that people were doing really weird things because they were modern and fashionable, and other people were confused about what was a good use of the new features, and other people didn't want to touch the new features because they were new and didn't know how to use them. And so I started writing some guidelines. And then I found that other people were doing similar things. Herb and other people at Microsoft, like Gabby Does Race, were trying to help the Microsoft users to more modern things, and found that some people at CERN were doing exactly the same thing. So we said, okay, let's make it an open project. You can find it on GitHub. You can submit suggestions and all of that. There's a group of editors that approves improvements on it. And so that's good in itself. But think about it this way. We talk about how complex C++ is and how we can't simplify it by throwing away old features. So it must keep growing, but we want it to be simpler to use. We can do that in a couple of ways. One is to provide simpler syntax, like concepts makes generic programming simpler, ranges makes ordinary use of sequences of objects simpler, and the other way, for state, the range 4 makes it easier to use ranges. But we need a guideline. So we need guidelines like saying, when you want to traverse a data structure, use a range 4 if you can, and why. That's the kind of thing the core guidelines is. So it tells you what kind of subset you're interested in for certain benefits. And key things in that is an underlying model of resources and lifetimes. So you have static checkers that will tell you if you have a memory leak. It will tell you if you have a bad pointer, doesn't point to anything, and things like that. And it's not perfect, but it's getting better every year. And the guidelines doesn't cover everything for everybody, but they're getting better every year. So it's part of this push to make use of C++ simpler.